Albert Einstein once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen more than we speak." When Albert Einstein was in school, people thought he had a learning disability because he was quiet and shy, listening and contemplating the cosmos. This week ahead in astrology is about listening and seeing what the bright stars are shining a light on for our greater awareness and illumination. Starcasting to you from the City of Angels. Hello everyone, I'm Karis. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast. This is your astrology cosmic superpower for the week beginning Sunday, December 1st through Saturday, December 7th, 2024. Let's journey together with astrology and explore how to connect with the stars, the planets, the energies for our new week ahead. The brilliant night sky this week and for the rest of December has the Geminid meteor showers. Their peak time is around 2 a.m. Give yourself about an hour for your eyes to adjust to the darkness. Now, with the Geminid meteor showers, which actually started at the end of November, they're going through to the rest of December. You may be lucky enough to see what's called an Earth grazer. Now, an Earth grazer meteor, it travels slowly and horizontally, as opposed to meteors that shoot up in the sky. If the skies are clear, we could get to see about 100 meteors per hour. Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury, they are shining so brightly and spectacularly throughout the month of December. Don't miss this. And also, we have a black moon this month. A black moon is when we get 2 new moons within the month. The black moon, the second new moon, is on December 30th. And blackness is the color of where all the gold and hidden potential is hiding. The 7 original planets that you can see without aid of binoculars or telescope, or the OGs as I call them because they were the first original planets used in astrology, they are starting off the week lined up as such. We've got the sun in mutable fire Sagittarius. The moon is also on Sunday starting off the week in mutable fire Sagittarius. Mercury is retrograde in its detriment in the sign of Sagittarius. Venus is in cardinal Earth Capricorn. Mars is nice and strong in a friendly triplicity in fixed fire Leo. Jupiter is still retrograde in its detriment in the sign of Gemini. And Saturn is now direct in the sign of Pisces, ruled by Jupiter. Sunday, December 1st, we just had the new moon at 9 degrees Sagittarius. The new moon is a time when the light of the moon starts to increase and grow. It's a time of taking action. Sagittarius is about reaching for the stars, making your dreams come true, going further past the boundaries that perhaps you ever thought you could do. Now, as we start off the week on this Sunday, December 1st, the moon in Sagittarius makes a square aspect to Saturn in Pisces, in opposition to Jupiter in its detriment, a fire trine flow to Chiron in Aries, a conjunction to Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, and also Mercury makes a fire trine flow to Chiron in Aries. There is a very positive, expansive side to the sign of Sagittarius. There is also a challenging sign to Sagittarius and all the different signs of the zodiac. Sagittarius at its best is having faith, making your dreams come true, confidence, believing in yourself. The challenging side of Sagittarius is not knowing when to quit. Sagittarius rules over the law. There is a huge difference between laws that are fair and just, and the challenging side of Sagittarius can be thinking that you are the law, that you are right no matter what, not listening, which is a theme throughout this new week ahead in astrology. The challenging side to Sagittarius can be getting all fired up like a fire sign, jumping to conclusions before we get the information and the facts, and then with fire, which is a masculine element in astrology, taking action. So the listening part of this week, which is crucial with all of this new moon and energy elements, Mercury retrograde, take a second and third look, take a pause, and go over what potentially could be a big mistake. Having some patience, not just taking the action, not just jumping to conclusions, trying to listen to what the other person or the other situation is communicating. Sagittarius can be quite foolish at times before it gets all of the facts and things set up and in place. Mutable fire, which is Sagittarius, is that morphing, changing, shape-shifting, which at times can be wonderful when we need to do that. But making a change and shape-shifting when it is not the right time to do so can lead to certain challenges. This energy of I am the law, it continues on into Monday, the moon's day, December 2nd. On December 2nd, the moon is still in Sagittarius, and the moon in Sagittarius makes a square aspect to Neptune in Pisces. Pisces also ruled by Jupiter. So as we start off the week on the 1st of December, and there is potential confusion taking place because the moon is now increasing in light, which means the misinformation and the confusion can also be increasing. Then we have the moon on this Monday, December 2nd, with that square aspect, which is I gotta do something about it. A square is an activation. Let's take action. The moon in Sagittarius making this square aspect to Neptune in Pisces is the confusion growing and jumping to an action that doesn't have to take place. Sagittarius is fire. Neptune, Pisces, that is water. The blending of hot and cold, fire and water. That combination of elements in astrology creates a storm, a steam that is building up. Now, what's interesting with this confusion and not wanting to jump to conclusions and thinking that no matter what, I am right and I am the law and this is how it's going to be. Because Sagittarius can also be false pride, ego, and not knowing when humbleness is very important as far as listening. The last aspect on Monday between the moon in Sagittarius squaring off with Neptune in Pisces, this is the last aspect before the moon goes what is called void of course. A void of course moon, which in this case will last for about 4 hours, is a time frame when the moon doesn't make any other connections to any of the other planets before the moon changes signs, which it will do when it enters the sign of Capricorn. So we use the phrase void of course as a way of expressing when the moon is just hanging out. It's in the void. It isn't connected to anything else before it changes signs. So take a look at how the moon squares Neptune in Pisces, which is very stormy, hot and cold. The confusion has built, the misinformation, the emotions, the moon, the confusion of the emotions potentially getting the better of us. Then the moon is void of course before it goes into Capricorn, and we're just hanging out in the void. The moon then moves into the sign of Capricorn, which is its detriment, its exile. So when the moon is in Capricorn, the furthest away from its natural home placement, which is the moon in the sign of Cancer, then this is a feeling, an emotion of just being lost, out in banishment, trying to figure it all out, confused. And how do I find my way back home? This astrology is connected to a conversation, a situation, emotions, different things going on, which can potentially bring this feeling of I'm just lost here, not knowing how I feel, what I want, trying to find your way back and sorting through all of the conflicting different emotions and feelings and situations. If we are aware of what the stars are shining a light on for our awareness, it's maybe I should put off an important conversation. Maybe I don't have to decide right now. I can wait until I'm clearer about how I feel and what's going on before I assume that I am right and just jump into an action. Tuesday, December 3rd, Saturn, now moving forward in the sign of Pisces, is aligned with a degree that has to do with liberty, freedom. Saturn, the greater malefic, which has boundaries, limitations, says you are not going past this block, this Saturn limitation, until we get the lesson. Saturn, the great teacher, the great taskmaster, is standing there saying there is a lesson about to be learned. With Saturn, we reap the reward of the hard work and hard lesson learned, but Saturn never has been, never will be, an easy planet that just hands us something for free before the application, before the work has been done, the lesson learned. Saturn on December 3rd is waiting for the applying the exact square that is approaching from the Sun in Sagittarius. In other words, on Tuesday, December 3rd, we are building towards the exact moment of a Sun square Saturn aspect. As we are building to the exact moment of this tremendous ego square off, Sun square Saturn, we have Mercury in its detriment of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, making an opposition to Jupiter in its detriment in the sign of Gemini. This aspect here is do not waste time, energy, emotion, so much effort on a this is getting us nowhere kind of conversation. Ever been in a conversation, an argument where you've been up for hours going around and around and around the same thing? It doesn't come to a conclusion. It never ends positively. And if nothing else, it is just an exhausting, going nowhere kind of conversation, argument, potential debate, fight that ends up in just a depletion and exhaustion of energy and awareness. Why? Because nobody is listening. Everybody's talking, but no one is willing to just stop and listen. Then we have the Sun square Saturn, the Sun in Sagittarius squaring Saturn, the big daddy of them all, the greater malefic in Pisces. Now the lesson here, if no one is willing to listen, if we are not willing to pay attention and listen, then the Sun square Saturn can be a separation, because Saturn separates. It takes things away. Just like Mars, the lesser malefic. This is a part of why these two planets get such a bad reputation in astrology, because they can take things away, cut things away like Mars. We're not just given a free ride with Saturn and Mars. And the Sun square Saturn can be the potential separation, ending of what could have been something wonderful and beautiful in your life if we would just try to listen more than we are talking. The Sun square Saturn involves the I have to be right ego type of war, like that old movie, War of the Roses. If you've never seen it, you might want to look it up and watch it, when we just dig in our heels and simply refuse to budge, because Sagittarius at its worst. I am the law. And every sign of the zodiac has something. This is nothing personal against the sign of Sagittarius. I love Sagittarius. This is the astrology, though, of what is being highlighted for us. The moon is still in Capricorn, its exile, trying to figure out, well, where did I get lost? I'm still not connected to my feelings. What's going to make you happy? What it is that you need. I always say, feed your moon. What it is that you need. Comfort. That feeling of you're safe. Reassurance. You're home. You're around the familiar. The moon at its best. The moon in Capricorn then makes a conjunction to Venus in Capricorn, which is, what are you trying to find? Is the Venus in Capricorn rules of the road in a love situation? And that moon conjunct Venus in Capricorn is that last aspect before the moon enters fixed air Aquarius. And when the moon changes from Capricorn to Aquarius, Aquarius being the coldest time of the year, the winter time, and then the moon in Aquarius makes a conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius, which is now fully no turning back, no retrogrades, no second thoughts and feelings. The moon conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, which is a sudden and abrupt change of heart and mind where there is no turning back. This is the first moon in Aquarius making a conjunction to Pluto, now fully no turning around in Aquarius. In other words, a sudden and abrupt change of thoughts, attitude. The communication has just gone cold, and now the communication, moon conjunct Pluto, is dead. It's over. It has frozen. It's ice. Ice is a very hard substance that needs to melt into water, which is the flow, the emotion. December 5th, we still have the moon in Aquarius, and the sun in hot, fiery Sagittarius makes a conjunction with Mercury in Sagittarius, its detriment. This is the blind leading the blind. The Mercury retrograde in its detriment of Sagittarius, conjunct the sun, is just not seeing clearly. It's being blinded because of words that were said. Again, because of potentially not listening. The moon in Aquarius then makes a sextile aspect to the sun in Sagittarius, which is some potential there. That blending of fire and air, which is masculine, outgoing energy. The air feeds the flames of the fire. So there's a little bit, all is not lost yet. There is some potential. On Friday, Venus's day, December 6th, we have Mars in loyal Leo stationing retrograde. Now Mars's action, it's the lesser malefic, and it's stationing retrograde in the sign of the heart, fixed fire Leo. Mars stationing retrograde in Leo is the change of heart. First we had the change of mind. Now we're getting Mars stationing, taking a pause before it goes fully retrograde and asking the question, contemplating, is there a huge change of heart in this situation? Now we're looking at a fixed sign of the zodiac. The fixed signs of the zodiac, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. These signs of the zodiac correspond to the 4 months in the year where the weather, the temperature, the climate is fixed. For a fixed sign of the zodiac to do a complete 180 and have a change of heart and mind, that is a very rare occurrence because a fixed sign of the zodiac gets set on its course and does not take change lightly and easily. It is a major event when a Mars stationing retrograde in the sign of loyal love, the heart, Leo takes place. Meaning Leo, the heart fully loves and is completely all in, all chips on the table, win, lose, or draw. For that Mars retrograde to take place in the sign of Leo is a huge cosmic event. After Mars stations retrograde in loyal Leo, then Venus changes signs. Venus changes signs from cardinal Earth Capricorn. Let's establish the boundaries and the rules of the road. Let's define what this is. And then Venus on Venus's day enters cold Aquarius, which is freedom, independence, wanting out of a situation, wanting independence from a love that has grown cold. Also on December 6th, Mercury in Sagittarius makes a square to Saturn in Pisces. Now the Saturn in Pisces, which is the block, the boundary, is dictating, drawing the line to Mercury, retrograding in its detriment, saying, the conversation is over. There is nothing more to fight, argue, or to be said. We didn't listen, and the conversation is over. Now, conversation is to communicate, and to communicate means to commune, to connect. So once the communication is broken for good in any kind of relationship, this astrology this week isn't just about the love relationship. It's about any and all kinds of relationships that are going on in your life. You would want to know, well, where did the new moon in Sagittarius take place? Where are these alignments in astrology taking place in your personal astrology chart, which is based on your birth date, time, and place, the accurate birth information? Saturday, December 7th, then we have Neptune in Pisces stationing direct. The Neptune in Pisces stationing direct is the new dream, the new vision, the new imagination, Pisces, the new emotion. Neptune in Pisces is the ocean of emotion. Emotion being the energy that you will move forward with. Saturday, December 7th, we now have Venus in cold ice Aquarius. The moon enters mutable water Pisces. The moon loves to be in water. It's comfortable there. The Venus in Aquarius makes a conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius, which is the end of a relationship that has grown cold. The Sun then makes an opposition to Jupiter in its detriment in Gemini. So the Sun in Sagittarius is opposing, separating. That's an opposition, is a separating aspect from its ruler, Jupiter in Gemini. Then Neptune stations direct. When Neptune in Pisces, ruled by Jupiter, stations direct, then that is the beginning of a new dream, a new vision, a new imagination for the kind of heart, relationship, life that you are dreaming about. All of this connects together. All of these cosmic energies connect together this week, from the refusal to listen instead of speak, the potential of, well, I know that I'm right and I'm laying down the law, as opposed to let's listen and try to work this out. Certain things ending very abruptly when it involves a fixed sign of the zodiac doing a complete about face. And then the week ends off with that Neptune stopping, taking a pause, stationing, and asking the question, well, where will you put your energy, your emotion, this is water, into your new dream, new vision for the future? The Neptune stationing direct in Pisces is the investment of your energy, your emotion, your dream, and all of the power of the cosmos and the energy of the power of the cosmos for the future of what you want to create. Thank you, everyone, for being here and listening to the Voice of Astrology podcast, and I will see you all in the stars.